guarantee you, Dick, I have lifted a bigger girl than you have.
Oh my.
Well, okay. How big? What's the
Well,
fattest girl
here's
you
the
fucked?
chat.
So you haven't
I've
heard this
fucked some
story.
fat girls. They've been like 140 pounds, 145 pounds.
Good
45.
Lord.
Dick.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
You never heard the story of when I tore my shoulder in cheerleading, did you?
No.
Wait, you were a male cheerleader? That's so
Yeah,
gay.
that's how I met Lady Rackets.
Oh, that's so gay, Nick.
Yeah, so I showed up.
This is like incel
I have more
territory,
respect for
right?
No.
Guys
So
that are
I-
male
Fucking
cheerleader.
hell.
I was in Taekwondo in my 3rd year of college, right? And I showed up early because we would fight. This is early in the semester. My 1st year of college, I went to community college. My 2nd year of college, my friends like, come to my school because you're bored, and I was like, yeah, cool. So I went to Southwest State University in Minnesota, and then the next year he left and fucked off to U of M, and I'm still there because I'm lazy. I'm like not going to transfer, and I'm like, okay. So I'm here. So I joined Taekwondo, right? Because I'm like, I've done martial arts for like 15 years. I'll just do another one. That'll be great.
Gets gayer
And you're naturally badass, so obviously
exactly.
you can do it.
And I was like, I like fighting people. It's great. So I would show up early and we would fight before class. One day I show up early and the gym is, I open the door and there's this little tiny blonde thing with green eyes, which were a lie because they were contacts. But with green eyes looking at me, she goes, "Are you here to join cheerleading?" And I said, "Fuck no. I'm here to hit people. What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Oh, well, we're doing cheerleading tryouts." I'm like, "Well, that's gay. That's cool, I guess." And I'm going to go over there. She goes, "For every guy in Taekwondo you get to join cheerleading, I'll get a cheerleader to join Taekwondo." And so I convinced, I'm like, she was stunningly beautiful, right? And she walked right up to me and was talking to me. So I'm like, this is perfect. So I obviously convinced 3 other guys who are all just like we're all pathetic, right? None of us are male. Like male cheerleaders are all gymnasts and they all like cock. We're like all scrawny and tiny, except for one guy who was fat and depressing. And so, like, we get the worst male cheerleading team ever to join. And I'm like, well, now you got to get cheerleaders into Taekwondo. So she brings 4 cheerleading girls into Taekwondo. And then...
you kick their ass, right?
Yeah, of course.
Boom, boom, boom.
And so then, like, my job was to lift Lady Rackets. That was... the common lift is she puts her vagina right on the palm of your hand and you lift them up. And it was the greatest job on earth. And then we got married. But the second year...
It's like the Princess Bride.
Yeah,
right?
it's exactly
like,
the same
plot. As you wish, Wesley, but the hand in the vagina.
Yeah, so the second year, we got elected, both of us got elected to be captain. She was captain of the women's squad, and I was captain of the men's squad. And I was like, okay.
This is the whitest meetup, like the whitest cute meet fucking ever.
Yeah.
This happened. Keep going.
By this time, we're actually, I think we were engaged, actually, to be married at this point already. But our cheerleading coach comes up and says, okay, whoever wants to try out for whatever position gets to try out. And so they're like, okay, who wants to be a flyer? And this girl comes up, and she is at least 260 pounds.
Oh, no.
And mind you, I'm skinnier in college. I'm 155 to 160 pounds at this point.
No.
And I'm like, I look at our coach and I said, Natasha, I'm not trying to be a dick. She outweighs me by 100 pounds at least. If I pick her up, like, it's dangerous, like literal danger. And she goes, everybody gets to try. So I'm like, okay. So I go down and I put my hand under this jello blob of ass that sucks the whole thing in down to my fucking forearm. And I lift for all I'm goddamn worth. Like, I push with my legs, and I stand up, and I get her here, and I get to here, and I hear, and my shoulder, all my rotator cuffs on the back tore, and I was out for 6 weeks. I couldn't lift my arm to do a Nazi salute. It was fucking awful. And I was like, I tore it, and I just said, I'm fucking done. And then I walked up to the cheerleading coach. I was like, that was stupid. I hate you. And then I left and went to the athletic trainer who's like, just because the athletic trainer is just a physical education major at that school. I don't know if anybody knows a physical education major, but they're the people who are literally too retarded for any other degree. And she's like, just ice it and don't use it. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a treatment plan. She's like, it'll be fine. So then I eventually go to a fucking hospital because my arm doesn't work after 2 weeks. And they're like, no, you need to do like actually specific exercises and physically rehab your shoulder. Like that's, and I still have problems with it to this day. Thank you, fat girl, for doing that.
Wow.
So let me
Sorry,
get the
bro.
story straight. So you were out of college. You moved to another college for a man. You did a sport where it's touching and like up on other men.
Yeah,
No. Oh, yeah. Taekwondo. Yes, yeah.
A woman came up to you and was like, "Oh, do this thing with all these girls," and you're like, "No," and she had to like convince you to do that.
Yep.
And then you stuck your hand up a fat girl. That's
Then you faked an injury to get out of the girl touching.
Long story short, here's the path to marriage, ladies and gentlemen. What you do is you be a fag as much as possible, and then you fist the fattest girl you can find, and suddenly you're married.
You got him in the pussy, right?
Literally, yeah.
You got married, so you took his advice to heart.
It's the weirdest thing in the world, like doing that chair lift where they sit on your hand, because they're like, their ass is way back here, and it's the pelvic bone that has to line up with your wrist. So it's like, it's just vagina grab all day, and it's
Are you reliving it right now? Like, are you imagining doing it? Should we give you like a
no? It's
He's feeling the pain
so
again.
you can demonstrate or something?
no, it's literally weird because it's like you become friends with these people. Like you're not.
And you're just like, "Oh yeah, just
But
jump on, ladies."
Yeah, and
With
But
the
I
women.
felt your pelvic floor. It's a
just put it right in the palm of my sweaty hand. It's fine.
That sounds awesome. Except
Nick,
it's bad.
it was. Look, Dick, it was one of the most fun things ever. That's the story. That's the moral of the story.
Was it just Lady Rackets that you did that to in the fat chick, or was it other girls?
No, I had to lift all sorts of girls.
Okay,
but
so this is kind of a vulgar question. Did you ever do it, like do the lifts, and then you're like,
No.
hand you smelled?
no. Oh wait, yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, your hands
Oh.
smell all the time. Yeah. I thought you were
my
saying
God.
like the bring it
Why?
on where he sticks the thumb under the Spanx or whatever. That would
I'm
break
making
your
a
fucking
comment
finger.
about-
You can't.
It's kind of a
You can't do
vulgar
that
comment,
shit.
but
Yeah, of course.
no.
got it.
Oh
Your
my
hand would smell like.
God.
Dude, Dick, so you do a cheerleading practice where you're doing like the girls are doing a bunch of dances and then jumping into stunts for like an hour and a half, 2 hours at midnight.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sweaty and gross.
There's a lot of stuff down. Oh my
Did it
God.
smell like yeast or sushi?
Sushi, usually.
Yeah, sushi.
Would it smell like
definitely.
goop? Like Gwyneth Paltrow's goop? Or